All right. Earlier on, you said, VIPs get Druids access right away with your subscription. And with update 12, when we got Artificers, we weren't able to start Artificers off anywhere other than level 1. They couldn't start out at level 4 with the veteran status. Is that going to be the case again with Druids?
I'll be honest with you, we haven't made a final decision on that, but I guess suffice it to say that we've heard feedback on that. Obviously, that wasn't everybody's favorite thing with veteran status being locked out initially. We're trying to figure out how it'll be. Even if we do lock it initially, we're going to make it not wait till update 14 before you can use it. So if we do lock it out, because the reason we lock it out is for the players that want to, hurry up to be one of the early high-level characters in that class. We want everybody to have an even playing field in that regard and be able to enjoy those early levels of the class and learn the class that way, honestly. So that's some of the reasons that we do it. At the same time, we understand people that have veteran status or veteran status too, that they also want to get in there and play. So we won't make you wait as long to get up there.
That makes a lot of sense, and I think now the community has heard that. They'll be able to appreciate that decision a little bit more and be a lot more accepting of that decision. Now, this question may be a little bit controversial. I remember 6 years ago when DDO first launched, a lot of people were saying, why not Forgotten Realms? Why is it in Eberron? And some stuff was said then, but now that Forgotten Realms is finally here, what would you say to those diehard Forgotten Realms fanboys that are saying, yeah, we've only gone to Forgotten Realms when they step in here?
We sure hope they're going to step in here and check it out. We feel like we're doing a version of Forgotten Realms that's going to do the setting justice, that's going to tell a really great epic storyline in that setting. We're making a great investment to make all these different environments and monsters and parts of the world, and Law herself, right, her, the big villain, all of them feel epic and appropriately awesome to the experience the players want to see in the Forgotten Realms. At the same time, I wouldn't say that we're running away from Eberron. Eberron is part of our game. So actually what we see is that we just have twice the universe, right, to play around in, and storylines to chase and factions to chase. And what's exciting for us as developers is being able to come to this new campaign setting in this new world and knowing that we get to fill it out over time with a whole slew of stories and environments and factions and things that we're going to visit over time. So even as we're getting to finish some of the final touches on Menace of the Underdark over the next couple months, we're also busy planning update 14, 15, and 16. We're hoping all three of those will get out this year. If we can keep the development pace that we want, we'll certainly get at least 2 of them this year. And we want the first one to be only about 2 months after Menace of the Underdark ships. So we're trying to move pretty aggressively with a live plan that at least initially is going to be focused a lot on expanding the Forgotten Realms world. And one of the things that you may notice that we've actually built this out, we're building it like it's an open world, which is to say that the town of Evening Star is physically located next to the forest. And likewise, here as we head, sort of west into the forest, if you go all the way to the western edge of the forest, eventually we'll have a gate there too that'll lead to the next thing, right? So there will be, even though the game is instanced, everybody knows how that works, that doesn't mean that you can't have a real sense of space of what connects the physical environments together. And that's something we're going to be able to do over time that I think the players will really appreciate, because you have a real sense of the physicality of the world and what it's like to travel the space to get to different locations.
That sounds really awesome, and I think that's probably one of the bigger complaints that I think the community's had over the years is that the world just felt so small because everything was instantized, and the traditional MMO model is very vast, expansive, and I personally, like the smaller feel and the mechanics of the way that this game works as opposed to other games. It feels I'm more of a part of it. So, I don't understand it.
Well, another cool thing that we're playing with, and we'll play around with it in beta. If it's working well, hopefully it can be in this release. Otherwise, it'll be soon thereafter. Is an auto grouping system, because we didn't want to change again the fundamentals of the instance nature of the game, because our game works very well, and we have a kind of player that's played it for 20 levels and likes it and knows how to work it now. So we didn't want to change some of the fundamentals of instancing, but at the same time we thought, which aspects of that open world feel can we incorporate? One was again the physical physical layout of the spaces like I was describing to you before. But the second one is being able to meet random people in different parts of content, right, without necessarily having to think about coordinating groups and things like that. So we're working on an auto grouping system that will make it very easy if you're a social kind of player, just like your group with random people. You can basically just say, put me in a randomized group, and you can just leave that checked. And when you hop in and out of quests and wildernesses, you'll just hop in with whoever else is playing that at that moment in time.
I thought I saw something on the quest panel when somebody was entering one of the quests. I saw a couple of extra buttons down the left-hand corner of that UI menu.
I would call that the ugly first version of what I'm describing, but yes, it'll look pretty and hopefully work, and we're hoping it can get into the motion release. But that's an example of, we're upgrading so many different systems beyond, the stuff that's just the main. Obviously, the big things are the level cap, the druid, and the big content packs, but we're upgrading a lot of systems. We'll also have a new system called the Monster Manual, which is going to be really great. It's looking awesome, where as you encounter and defeat different monsters in the game, you're basically going to uncover pages corresponding to those monsters in the monster manual, and you'll uncover information and achievements based on those monsters that you've defeated. So those will come in volumes. We're going to get the first volume into Menace of the Underdark, and then over time we'll release more volumes with more monsters. So this will be like an ongoing achievement system that we will grow over the course of the next 6 months or year.
Is that monster manual going to contain useful information about those monsters' special weaknesses or vulnerabilities, so that evil outsiders might be susceptible to holy or silver weapons?
Yeah, you got it. That's one of the big things, right? And we're really thinking of that system as not so much focused on the end game, but starting at the beginning of the game. I mean, it'll be for everybody, but we're building it as something that you're going to start to experience from Korthos and through your adventures in the harbor, right? You're going to come to the Sahabuan page first, and then you'll eventually be in the Kobold page in the harbor and that sort of stuff. And yeah, what you're describing are some of the things that, those of us that play pen and paper in the day know the D&D rule set from other games, really know some of those things, and they know that they have to get silver or whatever to fight some of these creatures, but then new players that come to the game don't know that. And this is a really great way both to tie to the lore and the old school RPG, parts of the game with the monster manual, but then also explain some of these things to those new players so they get better at the game and they enjoy it more, because there's a great depth to the rules of D&D that not everybody can appreciate because they don't necessarily discover it as they play.
So what other types of system changes or additions to the game can we expect with the update, with the expansion, or even coming in maybe update 14?
Well, there's a lot of little things that I described, kind of behind the scenes, upgrades to physics and animation and rendering technology and all that sort of stuff. Those are things behind the scenes. We also are getting, a lot of little bugs fixed, hireling bugs or performance or behaviors, just a whole slew of things that are getting updated. You guys know that we're working on some new enhancements as well. The enhancement system, we're trying to replace the whole thing and upgrade the PREs for all the classes. So all classes hopefully should get some new toys in the sense of getting the PREs completed for all classes and getting this new enhancements work done. It's a really big undertaking we're finding, so that could even slip to update 14, the enhancements redo. But either way, that's a really big thing that's coming, that's really ambitious. It's going to permeate the whole game.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago when the first enhancement system changed, there was a big uproar, but it was obviously for the better. And I think what the community is seeing here is it's going to be different, but different is not necessarily better. It will provide more opportunities for most players who are open-minded about the changes, and I think it's going to be a good thing, and I think it's something I'm really looking forward to.
There's always that thing with a live game, right? When you make a big change in the transition, somebody might not be able to do exactly what they wanted. If that's true, we hope that's because 9 other people can do cool things they didn't used to be able to do before, and so on average everyone should be happy. But we can't please everybody. Like I said, we're trying to tread really carefully on this. We're trying to get a lot of feedback from the Moorlands, alpha testers, eventually with the beta community. We're not going to make the change lightly. We understand it's a big change to the players, and we're even working on ways to give all the players a free reincarnation with crews so they can respec their enhancements as well when we make the big change. So I can't promise you everybody will be happy, but overall we're really excited excited with, again, how the system does a good job of better explaining what your goals should be, where your PREs are, what you're striving to unlock in terms of your major abilities, or even what you should be trying to be good at.